Hey guys, this is Chris from AndroidPIT.com. We are here with the LG G3 and today we're going to take you through a few of the software features of the new LG flagship and the new look Optimus user interface. So let's go. So the G3 comes with Android 4.4.2 running straight out of the box, and you can see that the Optimus UI, that's LG's manufacturer skin, over the Android operating system has been given a bit of a makeover. So you can see they've gone super flat. There's a rework of all the icons, which you can also see in the app drawer. So everything's nice and flat and going with either circular or square icons. And I quite like it. It's pretty clean, it's pretty neat, and it looks pretty good. One of the other things you'll see, actually, let's go back there. You can see here we've got the smart notices, which is another software feature that LG have introduced. So you'll get additional information based on weather forecast, maybe your activity, how often you use apps. It'll suggest you to either do a cleanup of your cache files or to delete an app that you never use. And you'll also get other notifications that will flip down because LG's gone with this new sort of flip animation, which you can see in effect there. So LG Health takes a front and center position in the G3, as we've seen with other flagships this year. So obviously all of your activities can be logged using LG Health. We don't need to read that. And you've got a variety of different exercise types depending on what you're up to for the day. So you'll have that on a dedicated home screen. And we've also got the smart bulletin and smart tips, smart notices. There's a lot of Google Now kind of functionality in the G3. So when you've just got the device, you'll get tips on how to capture better pictures, etc., how to use features on the phone a little bit better, things like this as well. And as you've had the phone for longer, these will change. So there'll be suggestions for accessories, maybe upgrade, promotional offers, that kind of stuff once you've had the phone for a while. You can also see, if you go into some of LG's apps, that they've all been color-coded. They said that they've tried to steer away from super vivid colors, which is probably a little bit of a dig at Samsung. But everything's pretty nice. I quite like it. And the fairly standard settings menu for the LG. One of my favorite features on this is the knock on and knock code feature that we've seen previously. So a double tap on the screen will bring you to your lock screen so you can check the time and your notifications. And if you do the pattern, then it'll take you direct to your home screen. You can also set a different knock code pattern and access your guest mode, which will take you to a limited interface with only 5 pre-selected apps. So let's go back to our main screen. Okay, so let's take a look at a couple of the LG specific features. So if we go into our settings menu, we can go down to display. You'll be able to see on this lovely Quad HD screen that just as with the G2, you can change the button combination at the bottom on your home screens. So you just, as you can see in the animation here, just drag the different buttons that you want to customize your button setup. What else do we have? We have gestures. So they're not as advanced as some of the ones we've seen with the HTC One M8, for example. Most of these are flip based, so placing your phone face down or picking up when it's ringing will obviously take different actions. And what else do we have? One-handed operation, which we also saw. So you'll see the one-handed keyboard will shrink up and head to either the left or the right. What else do we have? We have a power saving mode. It's not as advanced as the one, say, on the Galaxy S5, but it will obviously, you can set a level for it, and once it kicks in, you can then limit which aspects of the phone you can turn off. So obviously the usual connectivity things and screen brightness, etc. There's a smart cleaning option in here as well, which isn't just like a task killer, which we all know doesn't really do anything, but it can also clear out your download folder and temporary files, which is actually a really nice option to have. And what else do we have? Dual window. We've also seen that before. So you can have your 2 windows stacked on top of one another, which we can also access with a long press on the back button. And just pick the ones that you want. And how about we get Hangouts, so you can be messaging your friend and watching a YouTube video at the same time. Okay, so we've also got other familiar features like Q Memo, which we also saw on the G2. So you can see it will basically just bring up the text editing overlay and you can write your grocery list or whatever else you feel the need. Okay, and in our notification shade, we've also got our QSlide apps. If you don't use QSlide apps, which are basically mini floating windows for your apps, then you can take this row out if you don't use it, but we will. So let's go to the dialer, and you'll see you get a resizable window that you can open other apps as you see fit. So you can watch videos, send emails, etc., whatever you need. In guest mode, you can obviously choose the apps that the person in guest mode has access to. And what else do we have? We have the shortcut keys for the buttons on the back, which is basically turn on or off. It doesn't seem to be an option to substitute those for any other features or app shortcuts, but maybe that will come in the final software version. This is a pre-production Korean handset, so things may change between now and the version you see. You can also pick the apps to use in your quick circle case if you opt for that. That's the circular cutout case that you've seen probably floating around the internet, so you can choose your apps to access through that as well. And that's pretty much it. Let's have a quick look at the camera. So one of the things I like about, there we are, we're in selfie cam mode, so let's just turn that off. So it's quite a minimal design. Everything's been made a little bit more transparent than it used to be on the G2, and there's a super clean view where you'll have no on-screen buttons and you just tap to take a photo. So the laser autofocus module on the back here has actually been pinched from a vacuum cleaner that LG developed to measure the distance. So it allows for super fast autofocus, but there's not too much in the way of settings and options. We've got HDR, of course, and we've got a variety of resolution options for camera and video. You can see there. We've got voice activated shooting and a grid overlay. Ta-da. As for modes, just the obvious dual camera, panorama shots, magic focus, which is not that great in my opinion, and your default automatic mode. So there you go guys, that is Optimus UI on the new LG G3. There's lots of cool features in there. There's not too much in the way of useless fluffy stuff that you're not going to use, and the things that you don't like you can pretty easily disable. Some of the features are not as advanced as we've seen on HTC or Samsung this year, but some of the others are much nicer as well. So don't forget, check out AndroidPIT.com, download our app, check us out on Twitter. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and so on. Google+, don't forget that one. Till next time guys.